So this is going to be another television series review. I watched the censored version, or the cut version, I should say, without Sheba bathing with Solomon. This one's called the Bible's collection Solomon, also known as Solomon. It's a 1997 television miniseries for RAI that retells the Bible story of Solomon. This is a take two because my first attempt on Saturday was still processing as of tonight. So we'll try this one more time, and hopefully I'll do it better the second time. Directed by Roger Young, it stars Ben Cross as Solomon. Ben Cross, who played Barnabas 5 years prior during the Persian Gulf War. Vivica A. Fox as the Queen of Sheba. Anouk Amy as Bathsheba. And Max von Sydow as David. Good performance by Max von Sydow. The film begins with David, still king of Israel. His sons Adonijah and Solomon are fierce rivals because both are protective heirs to the throne. Adonijah challenges Solomon to a chariot race during a hunting expedition, which Solomon wins because Adonijah loses control of his chariot. I think Adonijah should have been king. I don't know why David chose Solomon, because Solomon was such an adulterer. Anyways. Oh, and he raised taxes too. But his successor was even worse. It's like the transition from Claudius to Caligula, I guess. King David is aged and sickly, and King David announces that Solomon is the rightful heir to the throne over Israel. King David announces, and King David ordinates Solomon as king in the sight of the people, much to the chagrin of his half brother. Shortly after, King David dies, and Solomon gives the order for Adonijah to be killed, who also was an attempt to usurp the throne from Solomon. He stood in front of a rock and he started doing this hocus pocus Jewish stuff, and somehow that's going to make him king. After this, God comes to Solomon in a dream, and Solomon asks God to grant him wisdom that he may guide Israel well. God grants this desire to him. I don't know how biblically accurate this is, but I haven't really studied the Old Testament all that much. With his newfound wisdom, he's wise. Solomon proceeds to build the temple of God in Jerusalem, according to the architectural plans that his father David had left behind. Soon after the temple is successfully constructed, things begin to take a downward turn. That's an understatement. Solomon begins to take more wives in direct violation of Mosaic law. And not only that, but he's worshiping false idols from foreign lands. The Queen of Sheba makes a royal visit to Jerusalem. Solomon meets her. Solomon becomes infatuated with her. Yeah, I missed out on the bathing scene on this one. The form.org version is only 1 hour, 46 minutes, I believe. I could be wrong, but let me double check on that. Solomon courts and impregnates. Solomon impregnates Queen of Sheba. Is this his 200 wife, in addition to his 800 concubines? Or is it 1,000 concubines and 200 wives? Solomon aspires to make the Queen of Sheba his royal queen to the priests and counts his displeasure. Yeah, I wonder why. That's no big surprise there. The Bible collection Solomon. Here we go. All right. So it said this movie follows Solomon, the king of Israel, as he falls in love with a beautiful queen and then into a deep depression upon her departure, threatening his kingdom. And this version is 1 hour, 45, almost 46 minutes. But according to Wikipedia, the actual running time is 180 minutes. And IMDb has a different run time, 3 hours. Oh, 180 minutes is 3 hours. That's so stupid. Never mind. Okay, so running time 180 minutes. Network RAI release December 15th to December 17th, 1997. The story continues as Solomon's ego and power-drunken attitude, much like his father's, caused things in his kingdom to spiral out of control. Yeah, I guess so. The kingdom got split up into Judea, and then there was another king who ruled the rest of Israel. The film was shot in Morocco. Now let's dig up Solomon. Hopefully my lighting situation is better. I finally got a desk light, an LED thing that just lights up the whole room. Not just my phone flashlight, although I could add it. Let's see if I add my phone flashlight. See if that helps. Nope, doesn't make any difference whatsoever. Okay. Solomon TV miniseries, 1997, PG-13, 3 hours, 180 minutes. The version I saw was nearly chopped in half. Many of the scenes were cut, presumably because it gets a PG-13, and they wanted to make it family friendly for form.org. Gets a pretty decent 6.6 out of 10 on IMDb. I'm giving it 5 out of 5 stars. I love this. As a matter of fact, I'll put the trailer and the form.org version in the description. 1,600 ratings. David, now an old man, is still king of Israel. Among his sons, the ambitious Adonijah and the clever Solomon. Okay, here's a review from less flattering review from Marcin Kukushika on IMDb. The title, this is quite lengthy. The title of the IMDb review from whatever this person's name is, dated February 14th, 2009, is First Objective Glimpse into Wise King of Israel. And they're giving it a 7 out of 10, not a 10 out of 10. They're rating it closer to the average rating on IMDb. The biblical films can be divided into two sorts of screen adoptions, accurate ones and sheer travesties, while the first group refer to movies that treat the biblical content seriously and result in accurate depictions. The latter ones refer to freely adapted Hollywood productions that are rather celebrities' vehicles than biblical stories, and among such Old Testamental figures popular in cinema, like Abraham, Jacob, Moses, there is also Solomon, the son of King David, a great ruler of Israel known for his wisdom, the king who built the temple of the Lord in the city of Jerusalem. But is it the only thing to know about Solomon? Of course not. Of course, the significant factor for many people is the artistic side of the movie, directed by Roger Young, known for having made quite a few biblical epics. The movie is made with a flair for history concerning sets, locations, wardrobe, music, and the general mood of the distant past in which the action takes place. I'll have to agree with that. The costumes are great in this. Cinematography is great. Pure imagination at moments that occurs convincing. Most of the scenes, including the funeral of David, the entrance of Queen Sheba, the wise judgment by Solomon, or the daybreak of temple solemnity, will stun you as a viewer and an epic buff. Yeah, we're fast becoming an epic buff on this channel. In spite of the fact that there aren't many extras in this movie, the producers made a perfect use of their budget limitations. Besides, referring to the words of the Norwegian reviewer, I absolutely agree that the cast in the film are really unforgettable, including the famous celebrities as well as the unexperienced ones who are giving the supporting roles. Ben Cross in the lead leaves a lasting impact on the viewer's imagination. Again, I'll have to agree. He does a brilliant job portraying Solomon's weakness combined with wisdom, Solomon's deepening reason combined with growing tolerance. Vivica A. Fox calls our attention to the southern beauty that the famous Queen of Sheba must have been. She once again portrays a figure so popular in cinema and portrayed by Betty Blythe in 1921 and Gina Lollobrigida in 1959. I do have the 1959 version on my list. I'm going to have to look at the 1921 silent version, see if I can pull that one up. There, however, the Shebas focused on the queen's sex appeal using today's terms. Miss Fox, however, adds to it such virtues like affection and subtleness. Anouk Amy is memorable as Bathsheba, now the elderly woman who is no longer absorbed by sensual love, but what she concerns about is reign. Here, a note should be made of Max von Sydow as old King David in the first 50 minutes of the movie. But acting and visual merits are not all that make the film worth seeing. Solomon is a new challenge for biblical movie buffs, primarily because it is the first film that gives us a clear and very accurate insight into Solomon the king and Solomon the man. Solomon, considered one of the wisest men in the Bible, at the same time more revealed with his weaknesses and idolatry that appeared in the later years of his life are indeed historical. The movie in this case seems to break a kind of cliche that arose at the Israel king Solomon searching wisdom and asking for wisdom in the famous prayer to God, receives this and uses this for the goodness of his people. Yet, in the very depth of his heart, he lets himself be absorbed by personal choices over political ones. In other words, he begins to think of himself more as a man than as a king, and that leads him to confusion and division of the kingdom. It is the Solomon who once built the temple of the Lord and now finds everything vain. It is the Solomons whose heart was once devoted to the one true God and now offers sacrifices to mute idols, ugly ones too. I liked it when a couple of extras smashed one of the idols. It is not the Solomon absorbed by lust only, like as it is in the case of Solomon and Sheba, but the controversial personality that we find in the Bible, how universal it is. Therefore, I would recommend everyone to see this film. Perhaps it won't make you love biblical movies, nevertheless. It will truly make you reflect that all of the wisdom of today's world are never able to achieve the spirit and psychology of a single biblical story. Well written, very well written. All right, more like this. The Bible collection Jeremiah, the Bible collection David, the Bible collection Esther, and the Bible collection Abraham. I have all four of them on my list now. I'm going to look for the 1921 silent version. This is rated PG for violence and sensuality, nudity, none of which I saw on form.org. I'll post the links to the to both the censored version and the uh, the trailer in the description. I neglected to do that because I'm in a hurry to watch a 1915 movie that I can't even remember the name of. And then I'll review that one late tonight. I still haven't cooked dinner. And I forgot to get a plastic knife to spread my peanut butter tomorrow, so I'm just going to use the end of the spoon here. This is kind of a makeshift living situation in a little tiny room. Solomon is quoted as saying, Nathan. And Nathan says, so how's married life? Solomon says, very pleasant indeed. Solomon says, the pleasures of the body are not to be missed, Nathan. Nathan says, I have chosen to concentrate on God's love, my Lord. Solomon, do you really think he meant you to deny yourself, Nathan? He made us this way, did he not? Why would he not want us to taste the fruit? Well, you can ask Adam and Eve that question. Nathan, God put many things on earth were not to taste, my Lord. If it were not so, we would not have a free will, and he would not be God, but simply the creator of blind animals. This was followed by the Bible Jeremiah, or the Bible collection Jeremiah, I should say. Release date April 30th, 2000 in the United States. Countries of origin: Italy, France, Germany, Czech Republic, Spain, United States, Netherlands, and UK official site 5 Mile River Films. Languages Italian and English, also known as something in uh, Russian that I can't read. Filming locations: Ouarzazate, Morocco. Production companies: Lux Vide, Quinta Communications, and Rye One. Runtime 3 hours, 180 minutes. This is in color, sound mix stereo, aspect ratio 1.31 to 1. So hopefully when I watch the other Bible stories, if I don't die first, the Bible collection stories, I mean, I won't watch the cut versions on forum.org. Watch the full versions on on YouTube. Watch the watch the trailer. All right. So we got the Ben Cross is a great actor. I'm also tempted to put The Dark Shadows television show remake on my movies list with the great Barbara Steele. So I'm going to try to add those two. Ben Cross's Barnabas Collins and the 1921 silent epic story of King Solomon of Israel. Good stuff. Thanks for sticking around. And I'll try to whittle down my list tonight. I've got to prepare for my confirmation this weekend, so I'm afraid I won't get much done in the way of movie reviews. But, anyways, thanks for checking out my channel. Have a great night, and I'll try to fit another one in tonight. Laters.